What's going on, guys? It's your girl, Megan Savage, and we're in 2026. It's still blowing my mind because 2025 was probably one of the best years of my life. I found my love for fasting, health, and longevity, launched my own company, and was able to do over 6 figures in 72 hours. And my trading has been the best it has ever been. Not to mention, I got to scratch something off my bucket list by going to New York City and watching Wicked live on Broadway. And if you know me at all, I'm a huge Wicked fan. In January 2026, there was a trend going around, people talking about their transition from 2016 to now. A lot of people are talking about how that was a goated year for them. I'm gonna be real with you. I freshly was 18. That year for me was one of the hardest years of my life. So to be able to come full circle 10 years later, I didn't even really think I was going to make it this far, to be honest with you. But because of that, and we are starting the new year, and I know by the time this is out, it's going to be February, but we're still in Q1, so we still have time. I wanted to go over the biggest lessons I've had in the past decade, with the hope that one of those lessons resonates with you and is able to help you make the next 10 years into something amazing. So I have them all written down. I'm going to read them to you. But first off, let's peep the nails, okay? Valentine's Day nails. So number 1, the people you allow in your circle is truly important. It's not about them holding you back. It's about being dragged down. Energy vampires will suck your vibes and belief right out of you. Never forget the thermostat rule. Now, what is the thermostat rule? Let's say you're up here, you're a high achiever, you're super ambitious, you're that person that always gets their shit done, you walk your walk, you talk your talk, you're doing your thing. And if you are that person, you know who I'm talking about. But there are your friends, let's call them, who might not be that ambitious. They're the friends you go to when you're trying to maybe cool off or relax. They're not as ambitious as you. Maybe they get you to do things that you don't really want to do, some habits that you're not too proud of. When you hang around those type of people, even though they say they might be supportive in whatever you're doing, there's the thermostat rule. You will bring them up, but you will also come down to meet them, which is why your goal should always to be in rooms where you are the dumbest, where you make the least amount of money, because that brings you up. And it sucks because I know there's probably people in your life that you really, really love and you don't want to let them go because you feel there's some type of attachment to them. But I'm letting you know, you can want somebody else to eat, just not at your table. And sometimes you need to ask yourself, are your goals more important or is pleasing other people? Number 2, your belief in yourself will make or break you. Confidence will always bring you so far, but you need to have belief in the type of person you are and becoming. I've seen people who have confidence with some things and believe they are trash with their life, and results in life will show that and nothing will hide it. Confidence comes from familiarity. If I were to ask you to walk from one side to the room to the other, you would do it with no problem because you've done it a billion times. If I were to ask you to do a backflip right now, however, some of you at least will struggle. So whether this is you or a friend that you can think of who's very confident, let's say in basketball, but when it comes to business or public speaking or anything that will bring them further towards their goals, they're not so confident. You need to believe in yourself. Because honestly, it doesn't matter how familiar you are with whatever task you're given if you don't believe you can do anything. Not everyone deserves to see every side of you. How you act with your nana is very different than how you act with your boyfriend. You don't owe anyone anything besides kindness. You can still be yourself while protecting and cherishing other parts of you. Like Shrek would say, we are onions, and onions have layers. Think about the different hats you wear with the different relationships you have. I used to suffer from this a lot, thinking that I needed to give my most vulnerable self to everybody because then maybe they would understand me, maybe they would like me. But those sides of you have to be earned. And sometimes you can give the most vulnerable sides to you to somebody and they will still paint you out to be the villain. Keep those sides of you, between God, between those closest to you. It goes with the energy vampire rule. You don't want anybody ruining your vibe. Number 4, if you don't learn how to reset and recharge, you will not only hurt your mind, body, and soul, but you will start moving towards your goals at a snail's pace. I learned this the hard way. I am a super big overachiever, but eventually your body will stop you cold blank. And there's a Chinese rule, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but it talks about being proactive, and maintenance is always better than repair. At the end of the day, you only have one you. So if you're not going to prioritize that, that's probably why it's taking you a month to do something that usually takes you in 2 days. Number 5, nothing is definite, only death, and even that is debatable. You can always come back from something, and you can always move forward. You are not a bad person because you've made mistakes. And I don't know who needs to hear that, but I have done things that I am not proud of. And I know, especially on the internet, there's so much hate and people paint you out and stick you into this box. But just know that you can step out of that box. because you didn't know until you know. And making mistakes and having failures is so important for your success. That's how you're supposed to learn. And if whoever is in your circle is not understanding that who you were yesterday, last week, last month, last year is not who you are today, those are not the type of people you want to be around. So I give you permission, and you should give yourself permission to forgive yourself. Here's my next point. Having discernment is a superpower. It's the ability to completely see another person and understand where they're coming from, understand their patterns, their pain, and their past. But you don't allow your empathy to override your self-respect. Without discernment, you will have empathy without emotional boundaries. It isn't self-love, it's self-abandonment. This goes to my last point. You can want somebody to eat, just not at your table. You can completely understand where they're coming from, have no hate in your heart, forgive them, and still choose to leave them in the past so you can achieve your goals and move forward. And the people that are in the trading industry know that it is a very lonely journey, but when you meet those people that get it, it's a huge blessing. And I say this because there's a lot of people that will get in your ear, that will say bad things, that might even do you wrong once you start making money. You don't have to keep them around because they're your day ones. Next point. If you try to please everybody, you will please no one. It works the same way as if you stand for everything, you stand for nothing. The only thing that will happen is you will be taken advantage of. And it won't be just by bad people. You will give off the vibration to everyone that you are someone not to be respected. And unfortunately, that's so true. I've been this person, but I've seen so many people not be able to get themselves out of said box because they're the one who's putting themselves in it. You are important. You deserve respect, so act like it. Your job is to not make anybody happy besides you and God. On to the next. Genuinely, this one's my favorite. Genuinely, it's your fault. It's 110% entirely your fault. If you don't like the way your life is, it's because of what you are doing. And that's great because that means you can change it. The moment you stop playing victim is the first step. Guys, I do not know what happened to the world nowadays, but everyone is playing victim. I don't care if you were abused. I don't care if you are experiencing horrible mental health. I don't care if you were homeless. The list can go on. And it's not that I don't feel for you. I don't feel bad for you. I wish those things didn't happen to you. I don't care in the sense of that was your past. This is your present. And how your story started is not your fault. But how you deal with those traumas in your life and what you do from then on is your fault. Most of those things I mentioned has happened to me. And are there times that I still feel the trauma from it? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean I can make excuses. That doesn't mean I'm going to get a handout. That doesn't mean that everything is going to come to me on a silver platter. I still have to put the work in. I still have to put the time in. And the moment I got out of that victim mentality, it was the moment I started making money. I started to become happy. I started to have better relationships with people. This should be a good thing when someone tells you it's your fault, because if it was somebody else's fault, you are in a box again. You're in a cage. You will not be able to leave it. But because it's 110% your fault, you can choose how you spend your next day. You can choose the goals that you accomplish. On to the next. You can't help people that complain about everything and make excuses at every turn. Those people are addicted to the attention they get and feeling of passing blame. You will waste your time and energy. You can't save everyone. This took me a long time to learn. And honestly, it probably hit the most in 2024, 2025. You cannot want people's goals more than they do. And it doesn't matter if they're your family, your friends, someone really close to you. People will not change unless they want to change. And if you're the type of person that's like me, I am very direct and very blunt. When someone comes to me with a problem, I ask them, are you looking for comfort? Are you looking for a solution? Because I always go into the solution mode and people get very upset. For example, if someone's complaining about their weight, I'm like, okay, well, have you tried eating less, walking 10K steps a day? Have you tried doing this? Have you tried doing that? Whatever. And they will just think, well, no, I can't afford that. And I don't have time to do the steps. And I end up bonking heads with that type of mentality because there is always a way. So never give unsolicited advice, because not only is it bad for you, but it never ends well. Pay attention to the people that are just using you for attention. You have goals that you are trying to accomplish, and you are not letting excuses get into your way, because there are people that they're not realizing that have the same, if not worse problem than them, but they just don't want to sacrifice what that other person's sacrificing to accomplish it. So do not let them hold you back. We got some people turning into six-figure traders this year, and we do not want anyone holding them back from that. So no one will take you seriously if you don't take yourself seriously. Most people will forget what you say, but actions speak louder. You gain respect for yourself when you do the things you say you will. When you respect yourself, others will respect you. I'm not going to get too much into this one because I feel like you know what you need to do. But what I will say is just like how you can spiral backwards, you can spiral forward. It doesn't need to be some big grand act because you could just be showing up with the bare minimum stuff that you say you're going to do. And that is 80% more than what the entire population is doing. So just pick 1 or 2 things you want to start doing every day and do them. And you'll notice all of a sudden there's a lot more that you'll be able to handle. And lastly, you can learn something from anyone, even the people that you hate or that are bad. But when people show you their character, believe them. Trust a snake to be a snake. That doesn't mean you can't learn things from them. For example, one of the greatest leaders in history who knew how to use their influence and sway a crowd and everything else also was a horrible person and did really bad things. You could probably learn a lot about public speaking and leadership, but I wouldn't say take the same morals as that person. And this is where constructive conversation comes in, because I feel like that is what we are lacking in 2026. I always like learning new things and trying to expand my mindset and perspective. And I don't believe everything is so black and white. But even what's going on in the political sense these days, I'm not going to get too much into it, but it's not about being left or right or red or blue. It's really the people versus the elitists. And I won't get into that because that's a whole other conversation, but they are distracting us and it's working because I know even from my point of view, I went to ask a simple question online and then got attacked by people and words put in my mouth when I was literally just asking a question to challenge people's beliefs. And I do that because I also want to learn. If you're somebody who seeks growth, you are my favorite type of person and you're probably into trading. And I know there are tons of other lessons I've learned in the last decade, but those are the ones that have spoke to me the loudest, and I wanted to share them with you guys. So make sure to drop any questions or topics you want me to cover in another video in the comments. I appreciate you all. Remember, you are savage, not average. You're gonna slay 2026. I can't wait to see all the profits you guys make on your trading journey, and I will see you on the next video.